Hey gang, Sarah here. I'm here to talk to you about kind of how I set up my quarter two planning. And in this quarter two planning, I really am looking at all the areas of my life. I'm making sure that I account for any deadlines I have, any holidays I have, any family events that I have, any project management type milestones that I have, and then also some of my own personal projects. You're gonna see me kind of do some brainstorming here. And I start off in paper and then I turn it into something in OneNote. I think I just think better when I'm writing down. It helps me process a little better. So that's kind of the way I start off with everything. I start in paper and either move to OneNote or stay in paper. Now, I did move to OneNote, but I did try to change the format and the page size this time because one of the systems I'm trying to build is more of like a home maintenance system. So I don't have to like remember to do things, that it kind of goes on autopilot. So if you're new here, my name is Sarah and this is Plan the Grind, and I have a background in Lean Six Sigma. And I use all those business systems that and methodologies that we use in the corporate world, and I've implemented in my life to help reduce the chaos. So I hope you like this kind of thing. And I would really love to know what are the big key deliverables that Q2 has, because I find that we have more similarities on this channel with each other than not. So it's always just kind of fun to discuss in the comments, and maybe somebody will have an idea for you. So I hope you like this and let me know what you think. Bye. Hey gang, Sarah here. So I'm here to walk you through how I'm setting up my Q2 planning, or how I'm figuring out my Q2 planning. All right, so I'm actually going to walk you through how I'm figuring out my Q2 planning. So I just took one of my like ecosystem templates and I wrote, Q2 at the top because that's what I'm trying to figure out. And then I put the months April, May, June up above, really just so I could understand like the time of year it is, to help me trigger any kind of thoughts that I have. And then I went and I put each area of my life to kind of just think of all the different things that we have to manage in our lives. So for there I did like projects, goals, or events. So things like, like holidays are obviously big because like I need to like plan on Easter dinner, things like that. I started off with work just because that seems to just be front and center in my mind. And I'm thinking of all the projects that are due, that I'm managing, that my team members have. And I'm checking like Outlook, I'm checking my notebooks, OneNote, project management apps, goals and objectives, right? Those types of things. And I'm really just kind of deep diving on all the different things that we have. And then I'm kind of going over to my home bucket of my life, the home section. And I'm just thinking about the different things that I like to do in the spring, right? And this is like, I'm going on vacation, so I know I have to set up the guest room because I need someone to stay at my house. And then I like to declutter the house, and I want to redo the garage, but I need to do it in the summer. So I need to get it ready to be redone. So it's like a pre-project. And then some of the things for, family and money. So I'm planning a vacation. I printed out like a holiday calendar just to help trigger all the things that I need to think about, that like I feel like they just creep up on me all the time. And the goal here is to do this and then almost do it once and then keep it so next year I can reference it and it'll be simpler. So it's almost like I just have to update my projects because, surprise, surprise, Easter happens every year, right? So I don't need to rethink about that every year. So I'm trying to build like a long-term system. So some of the projects are like mulching the yard, that's a spring thing. I know that I have some site visits at work that I want to get done. And we have some cadences that end in the first half of the year. So what else? Let's see. So now this is a little bit of like, I'm really just deep diving here. This is how I do it. And it may be a little bit redundant, but at the same time, I'm building a system for the future, right? So I want to make sure that it's referenceable. And what I'm doing here is I'm moving it into my planner, right? So I have this set up in, 4 different quarters. And then I have like a grid for each month, and I have different areas of my life, like family, work, home, and health. And I'm doing this again, like just so I can reference this next year. When I'm setting up my productivity system next year, it'll already be there and I can just copy it over and then really just reference it. And as I'm, plugging them in, then I'm actually crossing them off just so I don't miss anything. So for example, like health, we go to the dentist in May, right? So I want to make sure that May and November, I kind of like keep this front and center. So when I'm planning for next year, because it's so hard to get a dentist appointment, like you have to schedule it 6 months in advance. And we actually all go together. This is like a little family tradition. So I have to make time to pre-plan this because we will never get 3 appointments at once ever. And then I have some like money buckets, right? Like I have to register my car. So those are like things that take my money. And I just want to remember that I have this cadence. Like, so next year I'm like, oh, I already know what I need to do. I don't have to rethink about old stuff. I can think about new stuff. So moving this over, now I could see like, when I'm moving this, like the work stuff, one of the big things is we do 2 value stream maps a year by site, and I need to make sure they get done. And sometimes I do them and sometimes my sites do them. So I just need to make sure they're all done, basically. And so those are some of the deadlines I'm putting in there. So when I'm referencing it, I can kind of make sure that I don't forget that I need to make sure people do it. The other things are like, what else? I'm just looking here. I'm going on like a girls trip, so I'm put that in there so I know to plan it. And then here you see me moving it into my OneNote. And I know, right, this is redundant, but I'm thinking long term. So I'm thinking of helping my future self. So Q2 planning next year for Sarah is going to be a lot easier because I already have this. Like I'm most likely going to go to the dentist in Q2 next year. And as the kind of the year progresses, I am going to update this to make sure it keeps it up to date and it just keeps it refreshed. So anything that I didn't think of, I have a place to put it, like the keys, right? You put the keys in the same spot every day. I'm putting my cadence in the same spot every day. And the reason why I put it in OneNote is because I could see that I will need this throughout, like on the go or on the fly or when I'm traveling, right? Because it's really encompassing all areas of my life. So that's why I'm like, you know what, let me put this in OneNote too. And then, as I said in the intro, I'm going to print this out, and I'm actually creating like more of a home management system too. Because if it's put away, again, like the keys, if I can look at a folder that says, in April you do all these things, it just makes my life easier in the future. All right, so now moving on to my Gantt chart. Now, the reason why I'm setting up my Gantt chart is so I can start to understand how things are overlapping in my life. Like, I don't want to have like big, huge deadlines at home and at work at the same time, because that it's just going to take too much mental load. So I'm trying to like balance the load, a load balancing, as we would say in manufacturing. But I'm trying to put that in here so I can understand like the flow of the quarter, because again, I just need to balance and manage my time. It helps me understand where conflicts may arise, because I'm only one person here and I am categorizing it by the different areas of my life. Because I do different things at different times a day. So I don't know, I just kind of manage it a little bit in like sections. And I am putting my team members' things in there. So like the people that report to me. So I'm not doing their projects, but I do care that their projects are moving, and I do care that they are not overscheduled. So I am putting the things that they are managing in there too. So you see M work, that's me work, and then T work is like a team member work. I just totally thought of something while I'm doing this. Like we have to do mid-year reviews, so I should schedule that in there. And then some of the things that I'm doing, like I know in May, I want to kind of clean up all my digital files. And then I have some deadlines for my goals and objectives that I want to schedule in. And you can see here I'm changing the page size because I want to print this out. So I was hoping to get it on like 11 by 17 or 8.5 by 11, sorry. And I think it was just too small, or it's too big. So I'll play with that later because, again, I want to print it out for next year. So next year, Sarah will be happy with current Sarah. All right, so here I'm kind of putting in a few different things that my team member is working on. And again, he's doing this. This is not a big load on me. Some of them I'll have more involvement with than others, just because I might have to help remove any roadblocks or anything like that. And then I am going on vacation in June, July, and I want to kind of bump up my fitness because I'm going to Italy, and I'm so excited about this. You have no idea. This is like a huge bucket list thing. So anyway, I want to like make sure that I'm ready for that, and I want to start planning that vacation because like I just want to maximize my time there, but also because there's, my kids and me, and we have to figure out like, what am I going to do? There's things we want to do. There's things that some of us want to do and things that none of us want to do, but I'm going to make us do because when is the next time we're going, right? So anyhow, in here I'm color coding it, and I'm purely doing this just so I can schedule out when does it happen in the month. And I want to know like what area again in my life. And I just wanted some visual management here. So, home is blue for no real reason. But so I'm going to fill in like how long I think each of these or when these things are scheduled for. Now, am I going to hold bet money that I'm going to get these done in time? No, I am not going to do that because it's not that serious. I am really just putting it in there because I want to have some level of a plan, basically. That's why we're all here. So I can understand, again, what's overlapping and also when I'm behind on something, right? Or when I'm not doing something I know that I wanted to do, right? Because I feel like if I don't write it down and if I don't see it, I'm going to forget that I want to do it. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm sure we can all relate. So I'm just color coding it so I can understand what months it'll be. So this 10,000 steps per day, I actually want to make sure that that's the average in April, and then I want to bump it up in May and June to 15,000 steps, right? So I'm planning a little bit of a roadmap in there. And what else? Yeah, so that's kind of it. So let's see. I'll try to give you a little bit of an overview. Now, again, for the quarter, I just did it's all using the tables, like think Excel. It's basically one row with 3 columns inserted in it. I'm just referencing the thing that I did that emailed it to myself. And then I insert cells inside of the cells. That's really the strategy that I use. So on my Patreon, you guys will be able to grab this template, the Sarah OneNote style that we do over there. And then, so let me know what some of the big deliverables you got for Q2, like some key things you want to get done. So thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.